Good day, peoples. I'm Pedro Mota, and I'm going to talk about why you should ride a motorcycle. Now, if you are already, good on you, and let the good times roll on. But if you aren't yet, or you're still on the fence about it, let me lay down a few reasons why you should start riding. Let's get in it. Hey folks, hope you're doing alright here in Chile. We have a sunny day again after 2-3 days of rain. Winter's really kicking off. So I've been riding almost half my life now, and I've been on the road riding around the world my current motorcycle for over 40 years now. And I think I've been to over 40 countries in the last 8 years on two wheels. So for me, riding, it's my way of life, and I don't know any better, and I love it. But that's me, and from those personal experiences, I picked a few reasons as to why you should go riding. So for starters, the practicality of a motorcycle. You will get to places faster. Having ridden through cities like Amsterdam, Paris, Tehran, Tokyo, and Sydney, they all have one thing in common, and that is congestion, just traffic everywhere. Because of how narrow a motorcycle is, it allows you to move to the front of the queue at a traffic light in between the cars, which is awesome. And then the light goes green and you have this empty road ahead of you until the next traffic light. In Europe, it is really normal to lane split and it's legal. In Australia and some other countries, it's a bit ambiguous, but I know that even there the laws are becoming more clear. In the United States, it's a whole different beast, man. Flat out not allowed, and I feel for you guys. But you know, for me and heaps of other riders, lane splitting is life, because that's what gets you to places faster, and it's not necessarily about the speed of the bike. And in some countries and states, the motorcycle is allowed on that beautiful empty bus lane where only buses and taxis are allowed. This makes the motorcycle an awesome commuter vehicle to get to work quick, but more importantly, to get home from work fast, because at the end of the day, that's what we really want. And then there's those times, and I never said this, but where you can do some sneaky maneuvers. You know, you're somewhere in congested traffic and you want to get the hell out of there in the car. You're just stuck there. You can't do anything on that busy parking lot, but you see a little opening somewhere, or you just want to ride up the curve, make a turn. It's all up to you. So on a motorbike, you have this great freedom all of a sudden, and your mobility increases dramatically, and that's awesome. Another big reason to ride is economy. Your average motorcycle is actually quite economical and will save you money at the pump. Now, of course, if you get a sports bike or you modify the engine, then fuel consumption is going to go up, but generally a factory bike with good maintenance will have great mileage. My 91 Transalp was over 25 years old, but when it's well maintained, it can easily do 20 kilometers on 1 liter. How that translates for the Americans watching, I don't know, you guys did something crazy with 100 gallons? No, what is it? How many gallons to 100 kilometers? It's too far apart, you know, too many variables. We just want to know how many Ks with 1 liter, but that's just me. There's one-cylinder motorcycles who can easily do 25 kilometers on a liter, and a lot of modern fuel-injected bikes, again, great mileage, so you'll keep a good chunk of that fuel money in your pocket and you can spend it on parts and maintenance. Now, you know, generally maintenance is also cheaper. Parts on your average bike are actually quite affordable, but of course there's motorcycles out there and also specific brands that parts, it can get crazy expensive. But generally motorcycle parts are pretty affordable, and if you learn to do some of the maintenance yourself, you'll save some money there too. Oil changes, brake pad changes, even chain and sprocket changes, it's not that hard if you get some practice in. Of course, there's some motorbikes out there that can actually make it really hard, but again, generally everything is pretty easy accessible and allows you to dabble in a bit of mechanical work. Though all of that goes out the window when you start modding your motorcycle. In that case, I hope you enjoy being broke. Now, another reason, a big one, fun. You're gonna have a lot of it. Like I said before, all of a sudden you can go anywhere. You can go fast, or you can go faster. You can go even faster than that. You can go so fast on some bikes that it might melt your face off. But if that's not your thing, there's bikes that are better at doing tricks on the streets. And if that's not your thing, there's motorcycles that can take you almost anywhere. Deep into the forest, up the mountains, through the river, down into the canyon, and through the narrowest of crevices. There's bikes out there that are specifically good at one of these things. And then there's bikes out there that are a bit more of an all-rounder. And you know what's really awesome about this is that you can do any of these things for under $10,000, because usually there's this big secondhand market out there with affordable motorcycles. Now, while you're having all this fun, inevitably you'll make new friends. I can't count the times that people came up to me and my motorbike or were waiting by my motorcycle, eager to have a chat with me and tell me about their experiences on their motorbike. And you're going to hear it if you want it or not, but some great experiences have come out of that. I think a lot of riders have experience with that, so let me know in the comments if you have any funny or cool experiences regarding that. And while you're out there riding, you'll attract and meet other riders who like to ride the same way like you do. And you know, there's plenty of motorcycle clubs out there. I don't know if Honda Civic owners come together on a Sunday and they go for a drive every time, but there certainly is a club for almost any type of motorcycle or specific brand or motorcycle or specific model of motorcycle. There's the Ragtag Club with any rider goes, and so you can go on group rides together if that's your thing. I know there's plenty of people out there who would rather ride alone, and you might be like that, and you know, you'll find out, and that's all good too. And you can simply just shoot the shit afterwards, you know, when all the riding is over and done for the day, and you can practice your poses around the motorbike, talking about that awesome corner that you took. What year is that? What model is that bike? By the way, if there actually are Honda Civic clubs out there, that's awesome. Power to you. Enjoy your Sunday. But you know, that's a big one for me. In my experience, traveling on a motorbike, it makes you relatable. It makes you approachable. And there's also the fun of this whole inner world riding experience, and I'm going to talk about that soon. Now, another big reason to start riding is the self-improvement effect that it might have on you. I think there's going to be this sense of accomplishment as your riding improves. Because after certain riding experiences or certain riding days, you'll experience what I call going level up. You know, one of those days where you became comfortable taking the corner faster, where you're more comfortable being in hectic traffic and you're unfazed by it. One of those days that you crossed that massive river, or you went up that slippery, muddy, disgusting slope and you made it. And next time you'll do it again and you'll be better at it. Those are the days where you become more confident in your abilities and you believe in yourself and the decisions that you make. And riding can only get better after that, but there's also the dip that might come after that. You become a bit too overconfident, but as long as you get through that, your abilities will increase again. You know, I've had my days traveling far away from home where I just went through something, had to figure out some new skills, failed hard or barely made it, but at the end of the day, it just felt like, wow, I can do that now. And that's awesome. That feeling is great. I think that all of this can bleed over into the rest of your life, where you become more confident and assertive in the things that you do. And all of this even applies when you're out there in the environment, riding, in the cold, in the horrible rain, in some insane winds that you think, should I stop riding? But you don't. You keep on riding through that wind, cold, and rain, sometimes all of it at the same time. You have these moments that you go, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can go on. And you know what's cool? A lot of times you do it anyway, and you come out better on the other side. More resistant to the elements, better able to power through all of them. And over time, you accept these things as a given, as part of riding a motorcycle. You don't even think twice about it. So you get pretty good at dealing with discomfort, and this bleeds over into the rest of your life, I think. Earlier I mentioned the inner experience, and that is where we are now, my last point, and that is the Zen of riding. So you're on the road and you don't really have any distractions on the motorbike. Maybe you have a GPS unit and maybe you're listening to some music. That's optional. It's just you on this vehicle and the road and your surroundings and other traffic around you. So most of the time on a motorbike, you have all this quiet time to yourself. There's no one sitting next to you who's yapping away and you sort of feel obliged that you have to talk to that person, you know, to keep that person company on the road. There's no people sitting in the back talking to you or kids screaming and shouting. At most, you have someone on the back and he or she has a helmet on, and you still have the world all to yourself, this whole world inside your helmet. Meanwhile, there's chaos all around you and all your senses are stimulated, but in here, it's quiet. Though there's some helmets out there that definitely aren't quiet, but I digress. So let's say you're riding back home from work at the end of your day, or generally when you're riding around and all of a sudden you have the time to reflect on life and think about things that are important to you. There's this whole inner experience that can happen. You can make some fantastic insights. You can be confronted with yourself and who you are. Or maybe none of that. Maybe you're just happy to be thinking about nothing, to completely decompress and just to enjoy the road ahead of you. Or just the opportunity to be silly stereo and just sing inside your helmet. It's amazing how many people will say that they do that and nobody will hear you. I hope. Only super manly songs, of course. Or you're just talking to yourself, or my personal favorite, play some character that's talking so much smack, usually with a funny accent. So riding can be very therapeutic, and it really is to a lot of people. I think there's plenty of folks out there that if they couldn't go for a ride on a Saturday or on a Sunday, they would be miserable. Basically the perfect vehicle to get away from it all sometimes, and to have the excuse to bring no one along. It's your own private experience, it's your own little world, and you can keep it all to yourself or you can share it in any way that you like. I know that some of you are like, mate, what you're on about? I just want to fucking ride. Fair enough. Go do it. Alright folks, that was that. I hope to have persuaded some of you to join the motorcycle master race. And at the end of the day, the best thing that you can do is just to start riding. And along the way, you'll figure out what you really love about that experience. Just get out there. Hope you all enjoyed that video. And for sure I missed over 100 reasons. So let me and others know in the comments why you think someone should start riding, or why you love riding a motorcycle. Let us know. And also, as some of you know, this is the first time I do an episode like this. I want to do more of these in the future where I talk about personal experiences riding motorcycle and traveling with a motorcycle and other things. I have more than a few ideas, but I'm also curious to know your ideas, so put that down into the comments. Alright folks, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. So there's heaps of other videos to watch and there's a lot more to come. Check them out here or here somewhere. And on your way out, if you could spare a second, hit that like button, eh? So have a great day and I'll see all of you soon enough. Ciao.